When we start our garden seeds indoors, the methods we use are often different for different seeds. In fact, two of our favorite annual flowers have methods that are literally the difference between light and dark. Join me today as I discuss how to start pansy and petunia seeds. Hi, I'm Gardener Scott, and I love having pansies and petunias in my garden. They have such a wonderful splash of color, and it lasts pretty much all season long. Most gardens can support pansies and petunias because they grow almost anywhere and they require very little effort. And who doesn't like to go to the nursery or the garden center in early spring and just see the tables laid out with all the beautiful annuals that we can put in our garden? I love finding little 6-packs like this that are on those early spring sales. And for years, that's what I would do, is I would buy the 6-packs or the 8-packs for less than $1. A couple years ago, I filled my green stock vertical tower, and it didn't cost very much. But last year, I went to get my pansies and petunias and other annuals, and I didn't see the sales. They were full price, to the point that it was outside my budget. So I determined this year to start those annuals from seed. Most gardeners know that to fill your garden with color, it's most cost-effective to get your own seeds and to start your plants indoors. While the process of starting these flowers from seed is pretty simple, it can actually take 3 months or more from the time we start these seeds to the time that we're able to put them in the garden. And that's one reason why so many gardeners rely on those early spring sales. But by ordering seeds online or buying them at your local nursery, you'll be exposed to many more varieties than what you'll find laid out in the garden centers. And that's a big reason why I want to go ahead and start my seeds this year. Variety, cost, and it is easy if you have the space and the equipment. If you save your 6-packs and 8-packs, they're a great way to start your seeds. I'll be using a 72-cell tray along with my own potting mix, and then I'll be using just a basic light setup to grow the plants after they germinate. I'll put links in the description and at the end of this video that show how I set up my lights and how I make my own potting mix. To begin, once you have your container, go ahead and fill it with that mix. The seeds are going to be in these cells for a number of weeks, so you want a mix that is well draining but also will hold moisture. So that's why I use perlite and peat moss to fill these cells. Now I will compact the soil lightly so that it's not too loose. Make sure that all of these cells are filled to the top level. I'll be starting my pansy seeds in this tray. Now it may surprise you that you really shouldn't start pansies and petunias in the same container. They have differing germination requirements. The pansies generally can be started about 8 to 10 weeks before the last frost date. Now, I tend to err a little bit more on the 10 to 12 weeks before the last frost date. But that's because my basement is a little bit cooler, and the cooler temperatures mean that the germination is going to take longer. And normal germination of pansy seeds can be 2 to 3 weeks. So have patience when you start your pansies. A key difference with these pansy seeds is that to aid germination, they require darkness. So after I get the seeds sown, I'm going to cover this tray. And I'll check at about the 2-week point to see if I have any growth of seedlings. Once I start seeing that growth, I'll go ahead and remove the cover and then expose those small seedlings to the light. This is different than what you may be used to with your seeds, but it can make a big difference when you're growing pansies. The pansy seeds are very small. I'll go ahead and pour some in my hand, and I'll try to get about 2, maybe 3 seeds for each of these cells. It's up to you. You can do fewer, you can do more, but I want to try to get as many flowers as possible. And so 2 or 3 seeds is not going to be a problem because they're so small. It's hard to control just exactly how many are falling into each of these cells. This goes pretty quickly, and so I've got most of the tray filled, and by dropping 2 to 3 in each of these cells, I was able to fill up a complete tray and actually have a few left over. So I may save these to put into a different container. The nice thing about pansies is they're very cold hardy. They can handle a frost once you put them into the ground. And if the roots have become established and you have a hard freeze, they can probably survive that as well. One of the reasons I like starting them a little bit extra early is because when I look at my forecast for my garden here in Colorado, I often have stretches of really good warm weather in spring, which means I might be able to get these in the ground before my last frost date. And then if the cold weather hits, it's not that big of a problem. Now, with seeds in each of these cells, now I'm going to rough up the soil a little bit. They should be lightly buried, about 1/8 of an inch, but that basically just means pushing them down into the potting mix. It's very difficult to see the little seeds at this point, so I'm just assuming that by tapping the soil surface with a pencil or just pushing and sliding with my fingers will be enough to push these little seeds into the soil just a little bit. With the seeds pressed into the potting mix, now it's time to water them in, just like you would do with any other seeds. I just want to pour the water in to allow the soil to settle straight down. I don't want so much that it's going to wash sideways into any of the other cells. Now, I did start with a moist potting mix. So this little bit of water on top is mainly just to settle the seeds. If you use a dry mix, you're going to run into problems. So start with a moist mix, just water lightly on the surface, and that'll help everything settle in. Now it's time to put these under the lights, but remember, we'll be covering them. And when I say I put them under the lights, it's because this is just where I put my seeds after they're initially sown. I'll cover and leave the cover, and periodically I'll check on them. Just to make sure the surface stays moist, I have a spray bottle. And so every couple days until they germinate, I'll take the lid off for just a minute and then wet the surface of the soil. I have another tray prepared for my petunia seeds. That's because, remember, as I mentioned earlier, the process is different. These seeds should normally be started 10 to 12 weeks before your last frost date. And the temperature is going to be different. Our normal household temperature is going to be too cool for germination. We should look for a minimum of 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and ideally a range that's closer to 75 to 80 degrees. The only way that most of us are going to be able to do that is if we put the tray on top of a heat mat. So that's what I've done underneath the lights, is set up my heat mat for this tray. That will help ensure that the soil temperature is warm enough for germination. And unlike the pansies, we're not going to rough up the soil surface and push them in. Light aids germination for petunia seeds. So we're just going to sow directly on the surface of the soil. These seeds are also very small, and often, like botanical interest does, they'll coat these seeds in a fine layer of clay just so you can see them a little easier. And I'm going to just try to drop one seed, maybe a couple, in each of these cells, and just do it on the surface. Now, I started some other petunias in this tray a couple weeks ago, and you can see they've already started to germinate. It took a little more than 2 weeks for these seedlings to emerge, and that's similar to the pansies. It's going to take a long time to germinate, especially if the temperature is cooler. It might take as long as a month before you see germination of your petunia seeds. It's more important that you start with a moist mix when you're doing your petunias, because we want to make sure that we don't wash these seeds away or that we cause them to be buried underneath the soil. So with them lightly sown on the surface, now I'll use my spray bottle rather than the watering can. And I'll just lightly spray the surface so that the seed settles onto the surface. But I'm really not looking to put so much water that it's going to cause the soil to cover the seed. With the heat mat in place, now I'll just put the tray on top of the heat mat. And because it's already been sprayed and the soil surface is moist, I'll just cover with the heat dome to help hold in the humidity. And so now I'll just look for the germination. And once the seedlings emerge, I'll make sure that all of them, whether pansy or petunia, will be exposed to the light. I have my timer set for 16 hours of light, and you saw that that was enough to stimulate the germination on the petunias. I'll care for those seedlings just like any other plant that I'm growing to transplant outside. And in about 3 months, I'm hoping to do exactly that. Now, I treat the pansies and the petunias as annuals in my Colorado Zone 5B garden. If you live in a warmer area, they might actually end up being perennials. Remember, the pansies can handle some cold temperatures, so they might be perennial in zones 6 through 10. Petunias can't handle that much cold. They prefer the temperatures to be above freezing. But in zone 10 or above, they might end up being perennials. And if you allow those flowers to set seed, if you don't deadhead everything, then those seeds will fall to the ground. And when the conditions are right, with enough darkness or enough light, and for the soil temperature to be right, don't be surprised if you don't see some pansies or petunias growing from the soil, from the seeds that fell, and not from the plants that you put in the first place. If you want to see one of those videos that I referenced earlier, go ahead and click on it now. I'm Gardener Scott. Enjoy gardening.